The Mandalorian, we have Entertainment Weekly article where Favreau and Filoni were talking. I'm going to paraphrase here, but they say that a lot happens between 30 years between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens, and that the Empire is done, but what happens when the Republic is rebuilding and there's like a Western and like people are, it's lawless. It's going to show essentially the rise of the First Order, how they came to be.
Who's the First Order again?
First Order is Kylo Ren and Snoke and all that. So this is the thing. So the Chuck Wendig books explore a lot of this.
Aftermath, right?
All three of them.
Okay.
All three of them. And where the first one...
canon?
Yes. The first...
You mean a lot of like after the
Empire
after
fell?
Jedi.
Yeah, but it takes... And the last book, the third book, really shows the start of what happens and what some of the Empire takes off, goes to the outer regions to just get the hell out of there and regroup, and they leave a lot of these fuckers on these other planets, like the Warner Herzog, people like that. Yeah. So this is where I hope, as the hardcore canon person in the lore that was set up, because the story group also works with a lot of these authors too, is to pull some of that stuff and to reference and to finally bring in someone like Sloane, who we've been waiting to see forever. She's just a badass kind of Imperial officer that was in these wars, the final battles. Because if we find out right around this time where this takes place, is right, it's like after the Battle of Jakku, I believe. So if they either reference that or show what's going on there, show just a few mentions, because you have someone like Dave Filoni and Favreau who are so caught up in the lore that we're going to start seeing these types of things. You'll see things from Rebels, you'll hear from Clone Wars, stuff from the movies, stuff that kind of tie in. That this is that thing that just pieces it all together.
Yeah.
Are you excited about this?
Oh yeah, I am, because it's whenever you read something and you're like, what happened during these years? Like, I just want to know the background of stuff, and I don't mean prequelness. It's more like, how did this all come about? And when you watch TV shows, those are usually the best episodes when they go back and explore how all this came together. And the fact that they're talking about, I think it's like 5 years after Jedi, and then
it's around that time.
And then so you're going to see like, oh well, this didn't all work out as hunky-dory as people thought. We all sang on Endor and sang that song. Right. We thought we were going to hold hands and have a kumbaya
Good song.
universe. Sure. Yeah. But the reality is, which is I really enjoy, that Star Wars is like exploring the governmental reality of trying to run a universe or a galaxy after the revolution succeeds. We've seen this in the real world. How many times revolutions, any number of countries, you look at the history, we're one of the rare countries that succeeded after a revolution and was able to become a world power.
And look at us now.
Okay. And a lot of other countries, just slam into themselves and fall apart and start another revolution. So this idea that another version of the Empire would pop up is not out of the realm of possibility.
Right.
Also, I think the exciting part for me is that we've seen the Rogue Ones, and we've seen the Rebels kind of regrouping in all aspects, right, and in all eras of this saga, but we really haven't seen the Empire, right? Like, we haven't seen like what happens after they fall, and like how do they restructure themselves in all these different aspects, right? Like, I mean, as long as it's not like a fourth Death Star, I'll be happy.
No,
right?
and there won't be. Well, that was the beauty of that scene that they showed at Celebration with Herzog and the stormtroopers kind of underground trying to build themselves back up, because, and Ken and I were talking about it, because at least we're hoping that they stick to what the canon is. At this point, the majority, like the hefty version of what was left of the Empire, they're gone. They're off in the outer regions trying to build the First Order. So all these stragglers are just out trying to survive and rebuild.
You think you'll see like a young Snoke in this? No,
because I don't think so. I think Snoke is out in the outer regions.
Oh, really?
I think that's where they got
making
him.
an appearance, Circus as Snoke in the series?
I don't think so.
Okay,
I don't think so. Not 5 years, because we know.
I feel like he was a bigger character. Like, the fans made him out to be a bigger character than he was.
Well, in the novels, they made him pretty big too, because I don't think you're wrong, but I think they mentioned Leia had mentioned. Because in Bloodline, that is 6 years before The Force Awakens, and Kylo's still Ben Solo.
Yeah.
But they're very aware of Snoke, and they know Snoke is around, and they know Snoke's trying to, be involved and kind of not corrupt, but influence Ben.
Snoke's just a guy. There was never any like all those Snoke theories were like it's Luke's face wrapped in a scarf.
Nothing was ever. I think you're going to get something on him.
Dad.
I think we'll learn more about him in 9.
Okay,
but I don't think that we haven't heard anything yet, or where he came from, or what. They kind of have to say something about him.
I just want to know where he got that ridiculous yellow robe, because I kind of want one.
Yeah, I can see you walking around.
Yeah, right.
I didn't want to know that like in The Last Jedi, because the only time I saw The Last Jedi was the one time in the theater, and I fell asleep for part of it. Yeah. Obviously, I always do. I mean, I fell asleep
you fall asleep in everything.
that it wasn't like during my fall asleep part that we found out that Snoke was like Rey's cousin Derek.
No. No. Got it. Not yet, anyway.
Derek
but
Right now,
Snoke.
Derek.
Yeah, the hopeful thing for me for this story is that they're gonna incorporate all of the lore and the things that we like about all these things. It's not just gonna be just. I'm glad it's a separate story. That's
Right.
cool, and we're gonna learn new characters, and that's the way to do it. The things that you get excited about of brand new things and brand new people that we don't know about.
Things we haven't seen, right? Like,
But knowing and acknowledging the history of things, like you got to get a Luke Skywalker mentioned in there. You don't never have to see him, not once, but you got to mention him. I mean, this is the guy because it's already the lore of what he's been doing, and he's a legend. And these, I mean, even when Rey had heard about him, it's like this was the guy that took down the Empire,
Right.
And so just to mention it,
This is what you said. It's like, this was the guy.
This was the guy.
It was the guy.
It's like in Braveheart.
Yes.
When he's sitting down, he's like, I had William Wallace kill 50 men.
Yeah.
50. It's like that whole thing.
As if it were one.
If it was one,
Don't you make fun of my accents ever
it's
again.
over.
That's terrible.
Bounty hunting is a tough profession.
I love Werner. Werner's so great.
I love Werner Herzog.
But
Yeah.
what is interesting to me about going through this and seeing the beginning of the First Order, because they're saying Giancarlo Esposito's character might have something with putting this all back together.
Yeah,
to be
right.
the
It looks
First
like he's
Order.
trying, yeah.
Right.
Great villain.
Do we start? Do we start to feel sympathy for the like? I think this is if we start to have, if the Mandalorian is the protagonist of the series, and we love the Mandalorian, is he going to be part of putting this empire together? And if he is, does that change our perception?
I
of the
don't,
First
but
Order?
that's what would I think make it
Like a Maleficent.
interesting show, right? Not so much
Maleficent.
that, but for me, if we're watching both sides of the
Right.
like the empires
Yes.
and the rebels, like and you're probably going to find sympathetic characters on both sides.
Well,
and
that's what we haven't
that's
seen
what
in the
will
movies
make it a
yet.
good show. Exactly.
We've seen it in Rebels, with
the movies,
Callus.
it's very black and white.
With Callus, and
Right,
but
Callus.
when you see it, the majority where you've seen the other side of the Empire are in the books. Like that's where you like Lost Stars and things where you get you get people who just are fighting on that side and believe in that cause. They're the evil motherfuckers
Right.
for sure, like the Tarkins and that. But then there are other people that are
Just
not
need a
and-
job.
and are
or
sympathetic
like
to 'em.
Finn that became that left,
Right.
Right,
right?
there's sympathetic characters, and I think we're going to see more of that in the Mandalorian because you have more time. I think you're going to see a lot more of that in Cassian. I think that's where that'll really serve because that whole thing will be political, especially when you have the showrunner from the Americans doing that one. So,
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. So it was Stephen Schiff, is that his name?
Schiff.
Schiff. So anyway, so I like that they're going to be able to explore this. That they're going to take the First Order, do some more things. Like I said, I think there's going to be a lot more that comes into the Clone Wars and Rebels, and
I don't want to toot my own horn on this one.
but you will.
I will.
Yeah.
I've been saying since the beginning that I don't know what this show is about because based on the trailers, I have no idea. And I'm not a giant Star Wars fan. Obviously, I just asked you guys if people knew who Snoke was. So what I'm saying is now knowing that this is taking place after Jedi, it's tied into the movies, it's showing me things that I didn't necessarily know about. Now I'm excited
Even
for
more
the show.
excited, yeah.
I was excited.
Well, I
Now
showed you that
I'm
scene and you
actually
got
excited.
pumped up.
Yes.
But but now you know a little bit more. But that's a great point. Because here's another, this is why when I tell, and I've had conversations with Perry, and I've had conversations with Roxy, and I go, the casual fan doesn't really even know what the hell the Mandalorian is.
Correct. No, you're right.
But
No,
they're convinced, no, it's big enough. Like everybody knows what this is. My friend John Pinto, who I talked about, is a massive Star Wars fan. He and I were talking. I said, "Are you excited for the Mandalorian?" He goes, "What's that?"
Yeah.
Didn't know what the fuck it was.
No. Right.
Had no idea
Because
what it
people
was.
just see the poster and they don't even know it's a TV show. They
I don't
just
even
they're
think
like,
he saw
oh,
a
that's
poster.
Boba Fett, right?
I don't even think you saw a poster. I saw him like the trailer without the music. Goes, oh wow, it looks like intense. It's like Disney Plus. Not just they're not locked in the way that you guys are or we are.
They're not nerds like us.
But they're not just. It's just not what they. He is a nerd, but he is, and he's just. But he's also he goes to work every morning. He does his job. He goes back. He sees his family, and then he turns on TV here and there. But he's not locked into like the news. And there's nothing wrong with the fact that if that's happens to be your passion. You're checking the movie news every day.
But
There's a lot
there's
of people
also
that
our
do that.
jobs to actually know this.
But even those people who are watching right now, and they're locked into this space. They're the casual fans that where Disney Plus has to try to get are the John Pintos of the world and find out how do you get that show to those guys and say, no, this is where this takes place because they don't know. To them, it could just be another animated show,
Right.
And they don't even know.
But I think that's why they came out with a trailer that's more hardcore than we've seen before. 'Cause it's kind of Game of Thrones vibe. Like who knew about Game of Thrones? Nobody was.
That's true.
People weren't reading the books at that level.
Right.
They were reading the books,
and
certainly.
it had lucky enough to have HBO behind it too.
Right, exactly. And this has the Disney machine behind it. So this was a smart move to not make it just a happy-go-lucky type of show. This is actually a grittier show,
Right.
and those are the people that they want to come and watch this thing.
True.
Well, they have so many animated shows. They
True.
needed something
There's
like
more
this.
coming from
Yeah.
what I hear.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on here.